If you follow baseball, you know that the stopper is a really important part of the team. A stopper is the most elite pitcher in the rotation, and the one who's relied upon to stop a losing streak if all the other pitchers on the team are struggling. Why am I telling you this? Because the DC movie universe needs a stopper, and that stopper has to be Superman. I figured this was a good topic to discuss after the box office failure of Blue Beetle. Since 2020, we've seen Birds of Prey, Wonder Woman 84, The Suicide Squad, Black Adam, Shazam 2, The Flash, and now Blue Beetle all underperform financially. This has been because of a combination of different things. COVID was a big factor, of course, but once No Way Home cracked $1 billion, that couldn't really be used as an excuse anymore. There's also the fact that the DCEU as we know it is being dismantled, dissuading people from being all that invested in this universe. And, of course, there's the quality of the movies themselves. Wonder Woman 84 and The Flash were pretty bad. The other movies I mentioned were just okay, but nothing groundbreaking. And I seriously doubt that Aquaman 2 starring Amber Heard will be a big hit. Aquaman! Nowadays, the superhero genre is so saturated that just being average or even good isn't nearly enough. 5 to 10 years ago, comic book movies were box office gold, but audiences expect much more out of them now, and it has to really stand out in order to make a big return on investment. According to James Gunn, Jaime Reyes, or the Blue Beetle, will be a part of the new DCU moving forward, but that didn't seem to persuade people to come out and see the movie. Much like Black Adam, Blue Beetle was a good but by-the-numbers origin story starring a character that isn't exactly an A-lister. Xolo Maridueña, best known as Miguel from Cobra Kai, brings a lot of likability to this role. He's a really good actor. But I think the movie's box office failure is a sign that superhero fatigue is really setting in with general audiences, especially with characters who aren't as well known. It also didn't help that a resurfaced tweet from 2018 showed that the director of Blue Beetle called for the assassination of a sitting president. Yikes. Speaking of Twitter, or X as it's now called, James Gunn has been fending off a lot of rumors and doubts about his upcoming universe. There's no doubt that the man knows how to make a great comic book movie, but this is his first experience running an entire cinematic universe, and with his big announcement with all the TV shows and movies coming out, it seems like he's counting a lot of chickens before they hatch. His announcement video also left us with just as many questions as it did answers. He said that The Flash will reset the DC universe, but that movie, which he claimed was one of the best comic book movies of all time, didn't seem to reset anything. Gunn announced 5 upcoming movies and 5 upcoming TV series, all of which contribute to the DCU's storyline. And as we've seen with Marvel's struggling Disney Plus series, combining movies and TV into one story in one universe might not always be a recipe for success. Of all the projects announced by Gunn, the 2 that stand out most are Superman Legacy, set to release in 2025, and The Brave and the Bold, a Batman and Robin story with no current release date set just yet. Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson proved that Batman can still bring in money, even though his archenemy brought in even more. So The Brave and the Bold could be promising. But with so many Batmen coming and going lately, will general audiences be open to another one? I'm going to keep my focus on Superman Legacy, which will most certainly set the tone for how the rest of Gunn's universe goes. Gunn is writing and directing the movie, and he already has a solid-looking cast in place. Lex Luthor has yet to be cast, but I imagine that Gunn will go with a good fit for the role. Superman Legacy is a movie that really needs to put up big box office numbers, because if Superman can't pull a big audience, I don't see how The Authority, Supergirl, or Swamp Thing will. There's a large chunk of comic book fans who have craved a great Superman movie even since the days of Christopher Reeve. Superman Returns had a pretty lukewarm reception, and while Henry Cavill was a good pick for Superman, the reception to Man of Steel was pretty mixed, with some fans not liking the dark, brooding version of the character. Superman is all about truth, justice, and hope, and a lot of people want to return to the version of him that's wholesome and optimistic rather than that. James Gunn is known for making comic book content that's quirky, cynical, and violent. And it's worked well for him so far. But I think this is an approach that he needs to be careful with when making Superman Legacy. It'll be interesting to see which direction he takes this franchise. Superman Legacy will feature a lot of other heroes, which I think can work, as long as they don't undermine the main character. This doesn't need to be a movie that immediately gets people excited about the DC universe. This movie just needs to get people excited about Superman. If it accomplishes that, then interest in all the other DCU projects will come naturally. A decade ago, it was the success of the Avengers that allowed for the success of lesser-known characters like the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think this will also apply to the DCU. If Superman is a massive hit, then lesser-known characters like the Authority will have an opportunity to shine. But if Superman Legacy falters at the box office, like so many other comic book movies have lately, then I don't really see how the rest of the DCU succeeds. It's up to Superman to be DC's stopper, and to start a new winning streak for them. No pressure, David Corenswet. No pressure. Anyway, those are just my thoughts, so let me know yours in the comments. Thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy my content, and I hope you all have a good one.